So, despite a court order barring them from doing so, Nigeria's labour unions went ahead and instructed their members to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike from today. There are conflicting reports about how much compliance there's been, while unions representing workers in the food and beverage sector, maritime, electricity, railways, education, judiciary and the National Assembly are reported to have joined the strike. Many other federal and state workers, as well as employees in banks and other financial institutions, were said to have ignored the call. The strike has come in the wake of the assault on the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, whilst he was leading a protest march in Imo State a fortnight ago against the non-payment of salaries and pensions. However, supporters of Governor Hope Uzodinma saw it as an attempt to scuttle the re-election chances of the governor. The unions say the strike will continue until the government wakes up to its responsibilities, as they put it. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the President of the Trade Union Congress, or TUC, Festus Osifo. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
Tell us more about why you've embarked on this action today. Why have you gone on strike?
Yes, so the reason we actually went on strike was what you've reeled out from the beginning, the assault on the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress on the 1st of November in the city of Owerri. So when that assault was meted out to him, so we reached out to all government agencies. We had a meeting on Friday, which was 3rd of November, calling the government to action, calling the government to act, saying that if the government refused to act by 8th of November, that we are going to go on strike. But as a responsible institution, on the 7th, government, they refused to act. So we felt maybe they were so busy, maybe this was not important to them. So we met on the 7th, we shifted it again by additional 1 week, anticipating that they will come to the table. But government also refused to act until on Thursday last week that we picketed, we went to the office of the Inspector General of Police. That was when he now said that he will go ahead and investigate the process. So for us, we felt that, because for us, the two labor centers, they are the labor movement in Nigeria. So the way Nigerians see Nigerian president, that is how we see the leaders of these institutions as the leader of the workforce. So whenever they are assaulted, we don't take them lightly in any way. So for us, the government, they went to sleep. If you see, since this thing has happened, there was no single statement from any government institutions as if the person that was assaulted, even if the person is a baby and the person cries out, the Nigerian government, they have it, duty to every Nigerian citizen to be protected, and they have it as obligation to respond. But they never responded until we started shouting.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that attack is completely and utterly unacceptable. But the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, he said that you are trying to punish a country of over 200 million people over what he called a personal matter involving Mr. Ajaero, who he says made an error of judgment which led to the assault on him in Owerri while he was allegedly planning to incite workers into what Mr. Onanuga called a needless strike. What is your response to that? I
know he wasn't there for any strike. He was there, to address the workers on the next line of action. Where, that is where the government has got the entire thing wrong. Because Ajaero was not there he didn't go to Labour Party office to advocate for any candidate. He didn't go to a PDP office to advocate for any candidate. He was in Labour House. He was in Labour House. He was assaulted in Labour House. He was assaulted in the house of a Labour. So he was not seen in any other place outside the Labour House. So for government to continuously link this with politics, well, that is their own kettle of fish. But for us, the labor movement for us, we are protecting our president and we will continuously protect him. So if they are reading it wrong, maybe that's why they've not made any statement. That is their own business. But for us, we will continuously advocate for what is right. Yes, we have said, like what he said, that the entire Nigerians, we are Nigerians as well. If you go to the hospitals, most of the hospitals are functioning. If you go to, that is why we are also trying to manage the situation so that the downtrodden, because if the political class, they are sick today, they send their kids abroad. But The downtrodden, we need to send their children to the hospital. So those critical infrastructures, we are allowing our people to continuously man them so that the downtrodden Nigerians will not suffer. But we want Nigerians to understand that Joe Ajaero is not just Joe Ajaero. Joe Ajaero represents an institution. So that institution has been battered today. Like as I said,
so it's a bit like attacking the Nigerian president. I mean, if you did that, Nigeria would be expected to respond.
Look at what's happening today. Look at Israel today. Look at what is happening today in Israel. So when you attack one, most especially a symbol of an institution, you have attacked that institution. So you cannot dictate to the institution how the institution will also react. But this blame should go to the Nigerian government because they have the period to act. Today, they started scrambling around. But why haven't they scrambled around since this thing happened on November 1st? November 1st, it happened on the 3rd. A statement was issued that will go on strike on the 8th. We did not. On the 7th, we met. We shifted evaluation. They had 2 weeks to act. But nobody deemed it fit or deemed it important to act. So for us, we will continuously push until government institutions act.
So how many workers have joined today's strike? I'm wondering how successful it's been because we're hearing of limited compliance, although you've explained some of the reason why.
Yes, that's one. Then secondly as well, as you could recall, the press conference that was held yesterday was held at about 6 p.m. So at about 6 p.m., work has closed. People have gone to their respective houses. So some people show up today. I mean, some people don't have lights. They don't have, I mean, the information could not reach out to them. So when they came to work today, they were a bit surprised on what has happened. So again, dissemination of information will take some time. And also, as Nigerians, we are allowing some of the essential services to go on because we are also patriotic people at the end of the day. So clearly for us, from our assessment, the strike has been very successful based on our template, based on our plan. And if they continuously full drag, those institutions, I mean, will continuously activate more and more of the institutions if they continue full drag.
But of course, beyond the justification for your strike, this is a test of sorts, isn't it? A test of the mobilizing capacity of the TUC and the NLC. I mean, if the strike is only partially successful, as it appears to be so far, it would suggest that your strength has greatly diminished.
Not at all. I can tell you that today, with a single call, we can pull out our workers in the entire oil and gas industry. If you look today, the oil and gas industry, the offices, they were shut across the nation today. But the people in the field, we kept them there. They are there on red alert. With a single call, they will all pull out. And you know the implication of that. With a single call, the entire airline industry will be grounded. So it is not with the refusal of those key institutions to join, but we are the ones that have asked them to be on red alert. When it gets to that time, we mobilize them, all of them, we kick off.
But apparently there is a standing court injunction stopping you from going on strike, and that if you do, you will be in contempt of court. I mean, why did you choose to ignore it?
I think the first person that will be in contempt of court is the Attorney General himself, because if you could see that severally, we've had, even in this dispensation, you could see that Emefiele, for example, you heard severally when court said they should release him, the DSS should release him.
That is Godwin Emefiele, the former governor of the central bank. You heard severally. So we are copying what the federal government is doing. That's number one. Then number two as well. As of today, I don't have a copy of that service. I saw it in television. Anybody could go to television and publish anything. Perhaps, which court are we talking about? Is it the same court that is being described by just the retired justice of the Supreme Court? Who owns the court? The same government who owns the court. You cannot continuously take black market injunction to cripple labor. You have to, before you do that, you have to arrest the entire Nigerian workers, and we are ready for it. So do you, as part of the leadership, expect to be charged to court for contempt?
I mean, I don't have any service. There is no proof of service. So if you want to charge us to court, we are here. We are not running away. Nigeria is our own. We will fight for the soul of this country.
Now, one of the things you asked for previous to the start of the strike was that following the attack on the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, that you want the governor of Imo State called to order. I understand that Governor Uzodimma has given a qualified apology, saying he would never support an attack on Joe Ajaero. But clearly that doesn't go far enough.
That is not an apology. He said it's regrettable. Regrettable is an apology. I will not support attack on Joe Ajaero. Is an apology? Is not an apology. But more importantly, the people that have perpetrated this brutality on the president of NLC, they are loitering the streets of Imo. They know them. We know their names. They know their names. They must be arrested. So it is not sufficient for you to see people that brutalized you because of what? Because you are in government house today. In 4 years' time, you will be out from there. Go and look at the governors that have been here in 1999, 2000. They are driving themselves in the street. So the fact that you are elected today to be a governor of a state, it does not give you the strength and the tenacity for you to do what you did. Look at what Erufai did at the time in Kaduna by brutalizing teachers. Today, where is Erufai? He's in exile. So today, the fact that you are here and you are a governor and you have a prefecture of office, tomorrow you don't know what life will bring. So we must be humble. When God gives us power, you cannot brutalize an individual because you are the governor of a state. We will not take that.
Right. So how much is this strike, if it holds, likely to hurt the Nigerian people and the Nigerian economy?
Yes, I think it's the government that will be telling us that, because for us on our path, like as we said, we are open for conversations, we are open for discussions, and like as we have done, that was why when it happened, we did not just call for strike immediately. When it happened, we did some protests just to get government to react, but they refused to react. So the Nigerian government should be held accountable. The police should be held accountable, no matter, irrespective of the cost of what the strike is.
Well, it's a bit like you use the example of Gaza. It's a bit like the Israelis who are saying that Hamas should be held responsible for the thousands of civilians who are innocents that they're killing in Gaza. I mean, that sounds like the same argument that you're making, that the government should be held responsible whilst you're the one who's going on strike and inflicting punishment on the Nigerian people. The railways were not working in certain places. Potentially the airlines might be crippled. There were blackouts in different parts of Nigeria, which obviously is a monstrous inconvenience for a lot of people.
Yes, in the case of Gaza, they did not give the Hamas some time to act, or the government of Palestine some time to act. But for our own situation here, we gave the government 2 good weeks to act, but they refused to act. There is no single statement from the Ministry of Labour as of today. No single statement from the Ministry of Labour. There is no single statement, apart from what Onanuga just said. There is no statement from the Nigerian president. No, Joe Ajaero represents an institution, a very formidable institution at that. So that is why we will not fold our arm to let this happen, because this is a true test to the Nigeria trade union movement, and we promise that we will respond accordingly if the issue is not addressed. And when the issue is not, wasn't addressed, we have to respond the way we have.
Mr. Festus Osifo, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You've had a long day. We really appreciate your coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
President Osifo, Festus Osifo is the president of the Trade Union Congress. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.